Mic'd up with Mikey Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J Mitch. We got Jackie Boy.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So I'm me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there, he's punching me in the stomach, like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Chico can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad Jones. 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Chico can practice today. And I was like, I look back and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You're more fucked up than me.
On the spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
you heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time for the
show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you gonna bring your chinchilla and your turtle?
My dad tell you about it?
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Mic'd Up. Today's Monday, March 10th. We're excited to have another show, another week of Mic'd Up. Got a big show for you today.
Oh, just another day.
Hey, just another day in paradise. I'm enjoying being here at our home at Indigo Papers. Check them out, indigopapers.com. No, more of the drinking type. More of the drinking type over here. Yeah, more of the seltzer type over here. Great
for the
spot,
golf course.
Great products. Yeah, we both needed that.
Needed it.
Because
Wrong way.
my golf game went sideways and then fell off a cliff. And I feel like yours did the exact same thing. But we're going to get there.
Yep.
You know, it just takes some time. And, just got to keep practicing. One step forward, one step's backwards, 2 steps forward.
Exactly.
Can't go 2 steps, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. That doesn't work.
Jay Mitch is just going this way.
Yeah, Jay Mitch is, I told him. I knew it. He's right around the golf course. I knew he was going to start getting on there a lot more. Reports are sources are reporting that Jared has been on the golf course a lot more frequently lately, which I'm very excited to see.
Maybe Friday. That's why he wasn't here.
I would like to play with Jared on the golf course more often. So that'd be nice. But we got a lot to talk about. Coach Jay Johnson in studio. Not a golfer. Not in studio. Live via video call today at 6:10. Not a golfer. Maybe he's played some golf in his time. I don't know if that's the case. But LSU's coming off, I think, if not the most complete performance of the week of the season this weekend. They swung it, they pitched it, they did everything that they wanted. They played defense, they did everything that you wanted to see them do going into SEC play. The other thing is a lot of people were talking about, man, they don't have a lot of homers. Only 9 home runs 2 weeks ago. 25 now. Now, you compare that to Tennessee. Obviously, Tennessee's got like 49. That's different, right? We're not comparing both teams, but LSU 2 weeks ago was hitting a ton of doubles, getting on base, still scoring a bunch of runs, but everybody was worried about the homers. Now the homers have come. If you hit doubles and you hit balls hard in the gap and you do the things that you want to do, eventually they're going to start going over the fence, and that is what happened. We talked about on the show. When the big fella starts barreling balls up and continues to have those at-bats that he's having, you would imagine that the home run barrage, I think is what we called it, is starting to happen, and it is obviously starting to happen. You saw this past weekend, Jared Jones, I think hit 3 home runs? 4 home runs. Yeah, that's a lot.
After missing out on the Brigade.
After missing out on the Brigade on Friday, decided to hit 4 the rest of the weekend, led the team in home runs for the weekend, now leads the team in home runs on the year. He's obviously has been hitting his stride all year, and that seems like it's not slowing down. Lineup continued to progress. Other guys started to hit homers. Pearson had a great weekend, 2 home runs this weekend, including a grand slam. You had a lot of guys get their first on Friday. Never forget your first. And I think you had 4 of them hit their first home run as LSU, or either of the season or in their LSU careers. Josh Pearson, first of the year. Luis Hernandez, maybe that gets him going. Hits his first home run of his LSU career. John Pearson, first home run of his LSU career, and Tanner Reaves, first home run of his LSU career. So good to see all of that. Obviously, we're going to talk about all of those things with Coach Johnson when he comes in on the show. NFL free agency is going wild. Why?
I just haven't heard of Coach Johnson in a while.
I don't know why I said Jay, but put some respect on his name.
Yeah, that's right.
Put some respect on his name. You have to earn the right to call him Jay, Coach Johnson. When he comes in on 6'10". But NFL free agency is going wild right now, obviously. That's usually what happens. A lot of guys are going a lot of different places. Saints, notably not really in the news for signing some prominent free agents. They tried to get Travarius Ward, who is the cornerback for the San Francisco 49ers. He decided to go to the Colts instead of the Saints. They do get Devon Gotchow, right? He gets traded from the Patriots to New Orleans. I know a lot of people are talking about, New Orleans doesn't like LSU guys. Obviously, this is an LSU guy from Plaquemine, back in Louisiana. I think he's been very good in his career, so I think that's a good pickup. Obviously, you want to see them sign guys. It shows you where they're at financially in free agency, and not being able to sign guys that they want to sign because of the cap purgatory that they are in. But we'll see if they make any moves as the offseason progresses. Justin Fields going to the Jets, Sam Darnold to the Seahawks, Geno Smith to Las Vegas, Aaron Rodgers to Pittsburgh, maybe, possibly. That's the rumor. We'll see. Is that going to be a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. I know Jared's wife is following that very diligently to make sure see where if he ends up in Pittsburgh. But a lot to talk about. Obviously, we're in baseball season, spring training well underway. Tampa Bay Rays. There's been a lot of conversation about Tampa Bay Rays over the years about their stadium leases. Are they going to be able to move? Are they going to go to Tampa? Are they going to get a new stadium? Well, the hurricane knocked the roof off their stadium, so they're no longer playing in their stadium this year. They're playing at the Yankees Spring Training Stadium. Well, news comes out today where Commissioner of Major League Baseball has announced that if they cannot reach an agreement,
they're going to come to New Orleans.
Nope. If they cannot reach a new agreement with a stadium in Tampa, Stu Sternberg, the owner of Tampa, is going to be forced to sell the team, which is not a good spot to be in. So I think that it goes one of two ways. Either he decides to agree on a new stadium and get that built and say, okay, we're done, I guess, agree on plans on a new stadium, or he ends up getting rid of the team. So not
Vegas?
great. They're not moving. There already is a team in Vegas. Oakland.
Well,
So that's happening. How that happens is happening, but they're not gonna want to move Tampa out of Tampa and to another expansion city because they want to expand Major League Baseball. So interesting dynamic, interesting conversations going on in spring training. But any conversation about baseball is good conversation. So looking forward to our conversation.
I'm diligent. I'm kind of nervous.
What?
There he is. Here he is. Hey.
I texted. He's good. He's
Okay,
good.
okay,
He's good.
No, that's when I start to.
Coach, he's busy.
I start to question myself.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Make sure I did it
that's
right.
more realistic.
You're right. Yeah, it's not
That's more realistic. No, it's a big weekend. Came off SEC. Look, he's locked in for the weekend. But let's talk to him about baseball. Joining us now, head coach for the LSU baseball team, Coach Jay Johnson. Coach, welcome back to the show. Congratulations on another great weekend. Hey, apparently y'all can hit homers. I know a lot of people were worried about that 2 weeks ago. Maybe not the baseball connoisseurs who understand that, doubles ends up turning into homers. It's amazing what you can do. It's got to be nice to see. I know that you're a doubles and walks guy and you want to put pressure on the defense. It's got to be nice to see the guys leave the ballpark and get to jog around the bases a few times over the weekend.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely have said when I used to coach third base, I never didn't give anybody a high five when they hit a homer,
Yeah. That would not be very nice of you if you did that.
Hate to see that one leave.
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't be popular. It was a good showing of our offense. We see these guys all the time and have a little better idea of what they really are. There's some factors that go into driving the ball and hitting it with power, and it's never really been a concern with mine. I think, if anything, I like the amount of runs that we've scored without needing a home run, or a bunch of home runs. And so just want to be able to win any type of game, big field, small field, wind blowing in, wind blowing out, day game, night game, all matters. And it was good to see the guys get some good swings this weekend.
Coach, you look at the scores of the weekend, and I know the last game you gave up 3 runs in the eighth, between the 8th and the 9th inning. But before that, you had only given up 2 runs that game. You gave up 2 runs the game before, or really 2 runs all 3 games up until those last 3 innings. It felt like top to bottom, pitching staff, offensively, it felt like it was one of the most complete performances, at least in my opinion, watching the game. Guys came in, did their job. You had a lot of guys driving the balls out of the ballpark, but also getting on base, drawing walks, having competitive at-bats. Do you feel that way, or do you feel like, obviously there's always things to work on, but do you feel like it was a, pretty complete weekend moving into the SEC?
Yeah, I think, to this point in the schedule, we've probably handled it just about as good as you can. And, from a result standpoint, obviously we'd love to have 0 losses instead of 1 loss, but I think our team used that loss very well. I think we've improved a ton in the past 2 weeks, and I think that was good. Relative to the play this weekend, we did get really good starting pitching. Cade was excellent, had a bunch of strikeouts, piled up a bunch of strikeouts on Friday. Anthony didn't have a very good first 5 hitters of Saturday, but after that, it was complete domination. I think maybe there was 1 more base runner after the 6th hitter of the game, for 7 innings with him. And, he's the first pitcher on the staff this year to complete 7 innings, which was great. Turn that one over to Zach Cowan, who's monster out of the bullpen for us, pitched great again. And then, I thought Chase did a good job yesterday. I mean, he's really difficult to score off of when there's no free bases involved. And he got himself a little bit of trouble in the 3rd and, wiggled out of it and was really good. And then, the relievers did their job and we continued to score. And, until the end of yesterday's game, played good defense again. And it was a good weekend. But, now we're excited about this week and moving forward.
Coach, I want to ask you about a guy that you obviously got a chance to see a little bit last year and obviously is on the team this year. So Through the fall and obviously through the spring so far, what is it that you saw in Zach Cowan? Because your ability to put as much trust as you've put in him early this year, and for him to obviously just throw the ball the way that he has and where he's going to go through the season, what is it that you saw in him so early that's kind of rang true so far for you?
Well, it's kind of an interesting recruiting story. So we played Wofford in the first game of the NCAA tournament last year, and we prepare really hard. And, I look at the opposing starting pitching really hard. And we thought we were going to face him, other than he threw 2 games in their conference tournament and threw a combined 350 pitches over the course of 4 days. And so they gave him 1 extra day. So we didn't face him, but I was very familiar with him. And then the next day he threw 6 shutout innings in the losers bracket game after we had won. And so obviously I knew his name, and then obviously we're looking at the portal every day. That's just the way that it is in the summer. And his name popped up, and I was like, no way. There's no way that guy's leaving. But I got his number really quick. Normally we go through this full vetting process of all kind of analytical stuff and where do they fit kind of in our model. And I was like, we're getting this guy. There's going to be no discussion. I want this pitcher because of his ability to throw strikes, to compete. I think he had 126 innings last year that were all really consistent, really successful. And, we had just, had 8 pitchers drafted or something like that. So we had a lot of innings to replace, and just felt like Zach could be a big part of that. And then getting him here, he's got the great pitch ability, throws all his pitches for strikes. Coach Yeski's done a really good job of advancing some of that. And then the guy's just really polished on the mound. It's a ton of strikes. It's tough to plan against. He can throw it wherever he wants, when he wants. He changes speeds, obviously. And he's a killer, on the inside, which is important in those key moments in the game. And so he's been very valuable, for us, and I'm really glad he's at LSU.
It feels like you have a stable of pitchers that are, in the age of velocity, and hey, everybody throws hard and everybody's got this hard stuff. He is kind of a old school type of pitcher. I'm not saying he doesn't throw hard, right? Because he can run it up there. But he kind of brings a different dynamic, at least in my opinion, with the pitching staff, being able to move the ball around, mix and match, understands how to change eye level, and understands how to compete that way. Is that something that intrigued you and kind of gives you a little bit of a different feel on the mound compared to the other guys that you have?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely a different look, but even just by saying that, I think that's just a disservice to how good a pitcher he is. He's good standing on his own, and if we needed him to start, we'll be fine, with that. I just think because of the experience that he's had, his ability just to know how to get people out and execute what he needs to, I think he fits really good where we've put him in, which has essentially been the most important parts of the game or the weekend or the series or whatever. And, he's done a really nice job, with each of those phases. And, he had such a workload last year. The workload that we've given him has kind of been, easy for him. Yeah. It's like the other day, 2 innings, he punched out 5 in 2 innings. And it's 31 pitches, and if I really needed him on Sunday, we probably could have used him on Sunday. That just kind of tells you, he's just one of those guys that's competitive, wants the ball, wants to be in the game, and has weapons, and has been very valuable part of our team and our pitching staff so far.
Coach, I want to bring up a guy because early in the year, especially for a young hitter, but early in the year, it's really hard for young hitters to get a lot of opportunities, but seemingly every time you've thrown this guy out there, I'm not saying it's been a hit, but it's been very loud contact.
He knows what you're going to say.
It's to a point now where it's being expected by his teammates, and I almost kind of think it's being expected by the other team. Can you just talk about what it is that John Peterson's been able to do? Pearson's been able to do so well so early in his career.
Yeah, he's a hitter, man. I think I put a lot of stock into where guys come from, because the environment that they come from will often determine how successful they can be earlier in their career. Because you guys, I'm sure, had guys that came in with you that had talent, but it's an adjustment because this is such a big jump. But, obviously, as we saw with Josh, John, their dad, Bill, is an awesome hitting coach. And then he played at West Monroe, one of the best programs in the state, and he's been around, what LSU baseball is here these last few years. So he's been around our team. He's one of the first guys we committed once I got here, committed as a sophomore and, has been at a billion games. And I don't think he's been overwhelmed by anything. And then when you just start digging into the player, he's confident, he's aggressive, he's focused, he's got a short swing, he's definitely got power. He hit the ball over the scoreboard the other night, but he doesn't have to sell out to get to that, which also makes him really hard to pitch to. And he's a really good 2-strike hitter. I think he has 4 or 5 hits in these pinch hit opportunities, and I want to say all but one of them have come with 2 strikes. And I have really high hopes for him, in terms of not just helping this team, but being a real hitter here, during his 3 or 4 years, whatever he's going to be here.
Coach, I know a lot of people can't really attest to this, but pinch hitting coming off the bench in the games, that is hard to do. And to be able to come off the bench cold and be able to put at-bats after at-bat after at-bat and be able to barrel balls up, that's extremely impressive, and not not even for a freshman, just for anybody. And the fact that he is a freshman just attests to how good he is as a hitter.
Let him run the bases. I want to see those wheels get going.
I did on Tuesday, and Milam hit a double, and he couldn't score from first. So then, no, I'm just kidding. He's going to be really good, and this whole thing, also really comes down to makeup, and character, and he's got that. And there's no hey, why am I not playing any of that? They all want to play, obviously. They all want to start, and his time will come here. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But right now, he's been ready to help us win when we've asked him to do that. And you're right, that's not an easy thing to do for anybody on our team, because they show up here as the 1-hole, 2-hole, 3-hole, or 4-hole on every team that they've ever played on. So credit to John, and again, it just kind of goes to that character and that makeup that I'm talking about.
You talk about character, makeup, and guys buying in. It feels like a lot of guys on the team are buying into that role, right? Ethan Fry is getting his opportunities, and he's making the most of his opportunities. You're platooning in third base right now with Braswell and Tanner Reaves, and they're both doing really well. And you have, the outfield, the guys that you can just throw out there time after time in the outfield. That's a hard role to be in, where it says, hey, you don't know if you're going to play, but when you play, you got to be ready. And it seems like everybody, whenever you give them the opportunity, is ready to play. And that's, something that's really hard to do. That's credit to you for getting these guys to buy in, credit to them for buying in. Has there been anything that you learned from last year going into this year as to how to maybe relate to these guys or get them to buy in more? Or is it just kind of a makeup between the guys you have on the roster right now?
Well, I think there's a couple things I would say is we have way more depth. We didn't have the right kind of depth last year. And part of that was a little bit timing, because it really the 7 of the top 8 guys from the national championship team moved on. Right. You know what I mean? And so there's an experience component that we were just lacking a little bit. It took a little time, for some guys to adjust to, playing at LSU or playing in the SEC. But we were also just too one-dimensional, way too right-handed at the plate, and way too, power with having to sell out to power and not really being good hitters. Now, I say that, and we did average close to 7 runs a game, but for me, just the bar is really high of what good offensive baseball is. So I like that, it doesn't matter if a right-hander or left-hander is on the mound. I think we're hitting 380 against left-handed pitching, so far through the season as a team. So we're not pigeonholed into a difficult matchup. And then I think there's a plus side of this for the players is there's 15 guys that have to be ready to play every game. I told them before the season, we will win a 2-run game at some point where we use 15 position players. And that's kind of abnormal. And I think it happened on Tuesday night, actually. We used 15 players. We won 11-9. And some guys that came off the bench, like John, he walked in that inning that we took the lead. I think it was the bottom of the 8th, that really contributed to that. And yeah, sure, some guys could do some more, but they're on a really good team, a really good offensive team, and they know, like, they have to be ready when they're called upon to do their job. And, they've been good at that so far. And it'll obviously get tougher, as we're going forward. Really good opponent tomorrow night, and then obviously into league play. But I think I like where their headspace is at, in terms of being ready to handle those challenges that lie ahead.
Coach, I would imagine the message doesn't really change in terms of starting pitching and obviously guys coming out of the pen or that have come out of the pen so far. But less than 20 walks and almost 70 innings of pitching from the guys that have started for you on the weekend. Chase Shores, as we know it right now, is the one guy that consistently goes up there with a very high-end octane fastball, right? And the other guys have very good arms, but we're not sitting here watching the gun get completely lit up. I only say that because do you think the way that group of guys has pitched so far has been basically an example to kind of go out there and show these other guys that there are ways of getting outs without trying to be so perfect and literally just pounding the zone and letting your stuff work?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think that's really well said. I think, in reference to Chase, like, he does have all that ability, and the fastball really jumps out at you. I think the first one yesterday was 99.
Right.
He had like strep throat too, so like that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But that'll grab your attention. But what I like about him is, he can give up some hits, but because he pounds his own, he doesn't walk a lot of people, and he doesn't I think he's given up one extra base hit on the season. And so, you're talking about trying to piece together 3 singles against a guy that has that caliber of fastball to score 1 run. Like, he's hasn't been perfect, but he's done a great job of like minimizing damage. And we're gonna score over the course of the game. And his job is to get us keep us in the game and put us in position to win later in the game. And he leaves the game 5-2, 5 innings, left some guys out there, which was great. And the offense, pops a 6-run 6th inning, and it's, a relatively comfortable win. So he's done a really good job. And I said this earlier, I only anticipate him getting better as the year goes. Anthony was, you can't pitch any better than he did after the 5th hitter of the game. And, we knew what we were getting in terms of pitchability, with him. And, now that the schedule is going to settle into 4-game weeks, that's going to be really big because, those guys that, their stuff's going to play up a little bit more, or maybe you're using a guy only once a week or 2 small shots, for a week. That's going to be really, really helpful for a lot of guys on our staff.
Continuing on the pitching front, Coach, we had Kate Anderson come out with a quote where we talked about having Coach Yetsky and how big that was for him to come back. For you and your perspective, this is the first time I believe you've had a second-year pitching coach when you've been at LSU. How big has that transition been from having guys that have played underneath him for at least 1 year, now to have him again under a second year and continue the development of the program, like pitching style, all of those things where they actually are familiar with their coach?
Well, I think it helps. I think they know what to expect, but let's be honest. We have so many new pitchers that most of them are in their first year. I think, you use the example of Cade, and I think it's helped Cade tremendously. He's obviously added to his pitch repertoire. He's an elite pitcher, but he's like totally put together as a person. So a guy like that really can take all the value that Coach Yetsky brings, which is a ton, because when you talk about game planning, pitch calling, setting up the week, knowing what to do, adjusting from one start to the next. He's the best. He's the best that I've ever had at that. So I think it's really helped Cade. And then because Cade is such a good leader of the players, of the pitchers, that those guys kind of follow what he's doing. And then it has like a really big impact. But, where I get excited is, you look at William Schmidt, you look at Kason Evans, you look at Maverick Rizzi, you look at Cooper Williams. These guys are going to be together for a few years, under the same type of pitching format, with Coach Yetsky as the pitching coach. with Jamie Tutko as our director of analytics, who makes a massive contribution in a lot of ways. Chris Martin is the strength coach. Isaac Trujillo is the trainer. They understand, when I come out to the mound, this is why I'm coming out to the mound to talk to them. Like, I'm really excited about that. And it's been a good deal to have that. And then it's not only just, the second year at LSU, this is now our 4th year of coaching together. Right. And that helps. It helps me a ton.
Who sleeps less?
I would give the low sleep count on our staff to Josh Jordan, our recruiting coordinator. I'm not sure how he does it, but I'm gonna work my 17 or 18 hours, but I'm gonna close my eyes the other 6 or 7. I'm still not very good after the bad loss, to be honest with you. But other than that,
you in the mood.
Yeah, Josh Jordan is probably the low sleep count guy on the coaching staff.
Milazzo was on our show on Friday, and he was praising Josh Jordan, saying he's the best catching guy he's been around. And I'm glad you brought him up, because I do want to talk a little bit about the catching side of things, right? Obviously, you have 2 guys that are new at LSU, 1 guy new in college. How are you feeling that the progression of the catchers has been? Obviously, people look at the game midweek last week, and they want to jump all over Cade Arrambide. Obviously, there's a couple of different reasons why those things happen, but I think for me, in the long run for him, that's a good thing. He'll get better from that. How has the progression of the catching position been, and are you happy with where they're heading?
Yeah, for sure. I think they have a huge impact on the game. And start with Luis Hernandez. He's done a great job for us. He's done a great job receiving, great job blocking. We haven't been run on at all, largely because of how he throws the baseball as well. And then the pitcher's doing a good job holding the ball, picking, and being quick to the plate. So Luis has done a great job. Reference to Cade, he's one of the best high school catchers that actually showed up in college. And he had a tough night the other night on Tuesday. Some of the pitching honestly contributed to that as well. But we talked about it, after the game, and we really wanted to use that game to advance him as a player. And he did that. We put him back in the game on Friday night. He was flawless, and he caught great yesterday for 6 innings. So I think that experience or that game will be a real positive. And if you look at him, it's hard not to like what you see. He's hit the ball really hard. Like, he's had a lot of, bad luck. He lined out to left, and he lined up straightaway center on a very windy day at the ball got to the warning track. He's taken some walks and a huge RBI in that game against Nebraska and Frisco. So he's done a great job offensively. I thought he caught well on Friday night after we took Luis out of the game, and I thought he caught great for 6 innings with Chase yesterday.
Coach, I actually, you talked about this a little bit earlier during the year. I just want to know if they're on par with what you thought you were going to get, a little bit ahead of it, but you're currently sitting at, I think, 4th best in terms of errors, if you will, defensively as a team. Where are they right now? Do you expect better? Do you expect it kind of to stay the same? Like, what do you expect right now? Because, this is actually really good. We like what we're seeing with it. I just want to know.
No, I think we have way more athleticism, way more athletic players, and that should make you a better defensive team. It has. We made one in the 8th inning, and we made one in the 9th inning yesterday, which annoyed me a little bit. But outside of that, it's been pretty good. And, we had, in my opinion, Tuesday night, which, we really had a bad start to that game. We had a bad first inning defensively. And then Sunday, with the game well in hand, I guess guys a little bit out of position, which for me, that's no excuse, and made a couple errors, yesterday. But other than that, it's been about as good as you could hope for. And they're playing very confidently. And I think the pitchers are throwing strikes with confidence, knowing that the plays are going to get made behind them. What I would point out, you can't play better shortstop than Steven Milam has to this point in time. And, he obviously gets a lot of praise for his offense, as he should, but he has played a phenomenal shortstop so far.
Not a lot of questions about his arm strength after that throw from left field to gun somebody down in the 9th, huh?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Coach, I do have one more for you. There's been, to the layman, can you explain to me what releasing the barrel means? There's been some conjecture on Twitter about what this means, and Bear Jones doesn't release the barrel. And so I was just wondering, from your perspective, if he does or not.
Well, I think Jamie came in yesterday and told me a stat. So this has been a pretty historic program with some pretty significant players and hitters, and he currently sits fourth in program history in like OPS, which is on base plus slugging percentage, right. And that seems good to me.
Yep.
And the other thing about that is he's a better hitter today than he's ever been, and it's okay for guys to get better through their career. And I don't know that anybody's actually done that better than Jared. And I talk about this all the time, and I'm excited for him, and it's obviously makes a huge impact for our team. But it's obvious the power jumps off the page. It's what people talk about. But his plate discipline is exceptional now, and his contact on balls in the strike zone is exceptional. And of that contact, it's really quality. I think maybe not this week, which was a very good week for him, but the week before, he hit like 10 balls over 110 miles an hour, and I've never even heard of that before. I've never heard of that before.
Coach, you ever heard of somebody hitting the ball 110 miles an hour without releasing the barrel? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I've never even used that term in my life.
Thank you. I was waiting for you to say that. Thank you so much, because I was confused. This conversation, I got real confused as to what was actually being said. So I appreciate you backing us up on that. I think he releases the barrel, whatever that means, just fine. Coach, we appreciate you. I know y'all got a game tomorrow. We look forward to watching y'all tomorrow. We look forward to watching y'all this weekend, obviously, as SEC play starts. We look forward to having you on the show throughout the course of the year and continue to have our nice little baseball banter back and forth. So we appreciate you always taking the time, and good luck the rest of the week.
All right, guys. Have a great night.
All right, Coach. Thanks.
See you.
I think that was a good way to end it.
Confirmed releases the barrel?
Confirmed. I've never heard that term
I think
before.
we confirmed that.
Confirmed.
Whatever that means, I think we confirmed it.
I want to.
This shit is gone.
I want to go. I want to get Jamie to send me the stats of what is his average, or what is his average against breaking balls freshman year, sophomore year, and junior year. And I promise you, everything that was said, he can't do this, he can't do that, is going to be debunked, because what Jared Jones is doing right now is pretty impressive, right? He's not going to be at the top of the league right now in homers, but he's getting close, right? He's got 8 home runs now. 6 home runs now. And he had 2 going into the weekend. He has 4 now. Guys like that get super hot. It happens quick.
2 off the wall.
And he hit 2 off the wall, and he hit 1, I think, in Texas that probably should have been a homer.
Yeah.
So if you're consistently putting the barrel on the ball like that.
Imagine if he played at Tennessee.
No. We're not going to get into that conversation.
I just think it's impressive. I think it's impressive because, man, a lot of teams are doing exactly what we thought they were going to do, and I think this plays to kind of like New Age ball, where scouting reports have become more prevalent and people are actually following these things, and it's pretty obvious people looked at him and said, no, sir, you can't beat us. We'll make everyone else around you do it before we give you the chance to do it. So the guys have stepped up around him, and I think even more and more guys are starting to feel comfortable, and he's taken advantage of the numbered, I guess I won't say numbered, but the less numbered opportunities that he's had compared to other guys in terms of how people have pitched him and how they've attacked him.
Yeah, no, he's been super impressive. Obviously, he went backside homer, 3 times? 3 times. The other one was off his face, off the scoreboard. He has the uncanny ability to hit the ball wherever. Kind of similar to like Judge and those big, strong guys in the big leagues, where you can kind of get beat, but if you're able to stay on the barrel and get the barrel to the baseball, you have the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark anywhere. And he's, there's not a lot of guys that can do that. He's one of those guys, and so it's been pretty fun to watch him play.
The one he hit that did not get registered by StatCast.
Well, that's the thing. Let's talk about that. I think there's a conspiracy with the StatCast stuff, or the whatever they're using.
The data.
Because every time there's a monster homer hit It's never recorded. Anybody realize that? Every
hard.
time there's a ball that's hit like outrageously, like, damn, I can't wait to see. Oh, that one didn't register. What the fuck do you mean that one didn't register?
Just man.
Like, how does that not register?
Just give me some numbers.
That's the reason you have it, so we can see how far and how hard you hit the ball. If you don't register, what are we doing with that? I don't understand that. Don't understand it.
But it was a testament to, I think, like kind of how he's played this year, because he worked himself into like a 3-1 count, and the guy was pushing. What do they have? Not a. It was a sand dial, as they say in Major League. I think 3 back to the minors, where it's like this guy's not going to throw it over 83 miles an hour, and he has no choice but to come to Bear Jones at some point, and he absolutely nuked a, I guess, quote unquote fastball, and it was just like his approach has been that deliberate, to where he's nibbling. Then when you have to come to him, he is not missing.
No, he's not, and that's it. It looks like, the more experience you get and the more comfortable you get and the more you understand your swing, the slower the game becomes. They always say slow the game down. That's how you slow the game down. The game looks very slow, Tim. Now, look, I get it. SEC play is about to get here, so he's not going to be hitting 450 throughout the course of the year. But I think the way he approaches his at-bats, I think that plays long-term. Walking, not chasing pitches out of the zone. Now, look, pitches are going to be a little bit sharper. Breaking balls are going to be a little bit tougher to lay off of sometimes when you get the good ones. But I think that you've seen the progression, and it just looks like the game is slowing down for him, which is huge.
I also love too that, like, I love the way the team has kind of played and where they are wins and loss wise, and how they are kind of. I'm not going to say they're in the groove where they've hit their stride and they just seem to be peaking right now, but they've played well enough to where I think they go into conference play. And I do believe a lot of people are still going to make other guys prove it, but they're in a spot and he's in a spot to where I don't feel like he feels like, man, we got to get off to such a fast start. We haven't played that well so far. I got to come out and show you I can do it. And then you kind of swing yourself into a rut. I think he feels comfortable. I think the team feels comfortable. And I think they're going to allow themselves to kind of ride the wave that they've already kind of gone on and just be comfortable passing the baton throughout the lineup right now. So I think they're in a good spot in terms of how they're going to start this year and getting themselves into conference play.
If there was a website on the internet that would be able to give you like really good college baseball stats, like team stats, that'd be great. They don't have that. D1 baseball doesn't even have like team stats. It just has individual stats. But I wanted
LSUsports.net does a good job.
Do they? To show like the actual like team stats like of the nation and the SEC leaders?
No, that's where you have to do your own work. Which, yeah, I do wish there was one.
Because what I wanted to bring up to him, which I couldn't because I could not find the numbers, is he talks about he likes an offense that can walk and driving guys by hitting doubles and base hits and not just with the long ball, right? We talked about, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe before last weekend, LSU was bottom of the SEC in home runs hit, but they're third in the SEC in runs scored, right? And I think they may have been fourth nationally in runs scored, right? And that shows me that they are doing the things. They are putting pressure on the defense, very consistently getting on base, driving guys in with base hits, manufacturing runs, and now that you add in the homers, I think that makes them a complete offense, right? People were worried about it. I'm not worried about it as much anymore.
Oh yeah, you're from Ace for LSU on the in the chat. I heard a jackass on a podcast. They said LSU was too reliant on the home run and wasn't athletic enough for our style of play.
Wow, that shows you. I think they looked at the games from last year.
Hey, just look at the box score from our Friday.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
But that's where you get in trouble when you talk, about a team that maybe you just looked at the box score and didn't really watch.
That happens a lot. I'm trying to. It's hard to find this. They have like weird stats, home runs per game, which Tennessee's hitting 3. They're averaging 3 home runs a game.
How many do they have on the year?
49.
Like 49?
Yeah.
Maybe they're too reliant on the long ball. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not going to get on a podcast and talk like I know Tennessee baseball because I haven't watched them play yet. Whenever it gets to SEC play, I'll have an opinion. I have watched LSU play.
here it is. Runs. Look at that. LSU is 8th in the country in runs scored.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. All right, Tennessee's 1. Right, Alabama's 3. Georgia's 4.
Oklahoma might be up there too. I think they've only lost 1 game this year.
Oklahoma's not up there.
Well, pitching it well then.
Yeah.
I will say this: the one big surprise that's been on the year is that, and I'm not sitting here saying that he's stopping them or that they aren't going to do it more. But if you told me that this was where they would be running wise in terms of like stealing bases, at least attempts wise, I would have never thought this. I thought we would see this team run a little bit more than they have so far, and they haven't. Now, who's to say that they won't do it more? They may. I don't really know. But they're playing really good ball, and like before this weekend hadn't hit a ton of homers, and I was expecting to see them run a little bit more, and they haven't done that yet.
Yeah, me too. Look, LSU is ranked 19th in the country in home runs now. So they've kind of leveled the playing field here a little bit. Just it's amazing. It's amazing what happens when you let baseball play itself out and you don't jump to judgment after 6 games.
Well, now LSU's too reliant on the homer.
Too reliant on the home run. I mean, unbelievable.
Tied for last in the SEC with 9. Now they're too reliant on it. And what number were they in the country?
Just now?
Yeah.
19th.
They're 19th.
Yeah.
No. Yes. 19th in the country in home runs.
Where do you think this LSU baseball team if Bear Jones didn't come back?
Boy, that'd be different. It would look. I mean, it's you don't like to say, "Oh, one guy like changes the entire team," but him in the middle of the lineup definitely changes the dynamic of the lineup. It allows everybody else to kind of play their game and be athletic and not try to do too much, and allows him to be the big bopper in the middle. And it was a big get to get him back. For sure.
Yeah, I mentioned that a lot going into the year. I thought there was no chance they'd get him back, and then once it looked like they'd get him back and they got him back, I thought it was super vital having him come back and be the guy that everyone realized, like when they're coming into this thing, they didn't have to go out and basically pace him or beat him and do whatever. That it was understood, we have a bopper. Go and play your game, and you don't have to, I guess, solidify yourself or open yourself as, hey, I'm here, I'm the new 3-hole or I'm the new 4-hole or whatever. I think bringing him in has kind of allowed those guys to settle in, play their game, and he's played well in the opportunities that he's had, and now everyone's kind of starting to, that train is starting to kind of work together, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like to me at least that the lineup's kind of constructed around him now. Like, that's what everybody kind of falls in place because he's able to, like, even if it be, like you said, 3-hole, 4-hole, whatever, putting him at 2-hole. But I think that's been the biggest, like, I guess, get back as the way that the lineup's constructed is clearly built around him because, as, like, Jay said it, too, he's like, fine, you don't want to pitch to him, Dickinson, 6 RBI.
Yep. Right. And I think that was a big reason why once Bear came back, I think that was a big emphasis is we got to find somebody who's dynamic behind him.
Oh, the pressure on Luis Hernandez if Bear didn't come back. Like, that was the guy.
Well, here's the deal. If Bear didn't come back, you would have seen them be a lot more aggressive and trying to go get somebody like him.
I thought they were aggressive because they didn't know. Like, even before that, because they were, I mean, it felt like it was up in the air, and you saw them going to the portal.
I think I think they didn't, but that's still a thing, man. Like, I still think it's a difference coming to a school like LSU with the expectations that are there, with the amount of people that come to the games. Like, if you're going and grabbing someone who hasn't really played in that kind of setting before, it's a difference. And you just don't know what you're going to get until the lights go on and the warm bodies come into the stadium. And I think they went out trying to find someone that could fill that position, and you just got lucky getting him back and some guys that can also kind of supplement it as well.
No doubt. And look, I wanted to bring up, and he kind of hit on, kind of pivoting from the offense back to the pitching staff. He mentioned Chase Shores, and he talked about how he's only going to get stronger. And I really wanted to ask that question because I think people need to realize that he hasn't thrown since April of 2 years ago, right? So he has a lot of downtime of not pitching in game action. I think he's looked really good considering that, right? His velo's up. He has to take some time to kind of gain the confidence in himself to go out there and attack the guys the way he really wants to go attack them. And it feels like he's doing that, and he's only going to get better with the more innings he throws.
Yeah, I don't think we have to go too far back. We'll just go back to last year. Everybody remembers the name Gage Jump, right? Remember Gage Jump in the second half of the year compared to the first half of the year. It was very clear that he got way more comfortable and he got better and he got stronger as the year went on. Why? Because he had missed so much time, and there was that fine ability to kind of do the fine things he wanted to do that he hasn't done in a long time. I think Chase Shores is going to take some of that same path. He's just started on, as of the year, a better path than what Gage started on last year, but that's a very encouraging sign for him going forward because, yeah, he is only going to get better.
Yep.
I wouldn't even say like a better path. I think it's just a more comfortable route for him because you don't have to have him as your like Saturday guy. It became like you can find your groove on Sunday because you're pretty loaded in terms of what you have pitching wise. So I feel like Gage Jump, while they kept him on a pseudo pitch count, but it's like he was also expected to come in and win. And now for Shorts, it's like.
Well, I think you could have gone and thrown Chase Shores on Friday night, and he'd give you these exact same numbers, and I would still be telling you watch for him in the second half of the year because he's going to get feel for that slider a little bit more. It's going to get finer. That fastball, he's going to be able to do what he wants with it more, and he's going to be able to find these things earlier in the game and sustain them longer because he's just going to be in the rhythm of doing those things, which he has not done for almost 2 years.
100%. It's going to be exciting. Look, SEC play opens this weekend against Missouri. Can't ever chalk anything up to guarantees, but it's a nice one for them to kind of ease their way into the SEC. But they're going to come out guns blazing. They're going to be pretty excited. I would imagine this, depending on what happens with the rain on Saturday, there could be some movement. Listen, St. Patty's Day being talked about being moved right now to Sunday. A little Sunday fun day.
Cool. Monday off?
Supposed to rain.
Definitely for Jared.
Supposed to rain on Saturday. We'll see what happens. Obviously, it's Louisiana, so the weather can move and change and do all these types of things. But it's going to be a big series this weekend. It's going to be nice to get them going before a tough weekend. Do they play? Is it at Texas, right? The next weekend?
Yes.
Yeah, so second weekend of the season at Texas. It'll put them in a good spot.
Remember, they can't believe you're making LSU go on the road to
Texas and Oklahoma.
And Texas.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unfair. But it'll be fun. I'll be there on Friday. You going to the game? You be the number?
Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah, be the number.
Back. Probably go tomorrow. Get a little, get cozy. Find a spot.
Maybe. Is the weather going to be nice? Hey, days are longer now.
That's right.
We're getting closer to the longer days, the warmer weather.
This better, huh?
Huh? I love this.
Which side of daylight saving time are we on?
We're longer days,
which one
later
is it? Are
mornings.
we in it or not in it?
Couldn't tell you.
I don't know. Maybe
I just know the sun's up earlier and stays up longer.
I think it's day. You push the clocks back, so you lose an hour. You lost an hour of sleep on Saturday, so it means you push them forward.
So the daylight not
because you
saved,
spring
or
forward.
it
You
is saved?
spring forward.
So we're not saving the time. We're not saving daylight, or are we?
I think we are saving daylight because it's darker longer in the morning and lighter longer at night. So it's saving. I don't know, actually.
Tough question. I skipped that one. Come back to me.
Can we just forget about daylight savings time? It doesn't do anything anymore. It was for the farmers, and I think we're good. Technology has fixed all of that.
Yeah, hydroponics.
Yeah.
Crow houses.
Yeah. I don't know.
Chickens. Plenty of eggs out there, or are there? I don't know. Apparently, that was
what came first, chicken or the egg?
Nah.
You never know.
It was, what happened to Mary? All these questions we don't have answers to.
I don't know. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to a different conversation.
You see if they changed the ticker on McAfee today? It threw me for a loop.
I was reading it today. I actually
well, because it was white instead of black, so
yeah,
I don't know but I didn't like it. It made it look more JV.
Well, why don't you let them know?
Oh, yeah, I'll send it,
Why don't you let them know?
I got a lot of people on it, I'm sure, much smarter than I.
Do you want to dabble in the football conversation? LSU football started back up. I guess not really spring. Is it spring practice? Would it be considered spring practice?
I think it's spring ball.
Spring ball camp? I guess that's what
Jared,
it is.
We have a good source for this.
Yes. This would when there's pads and stuff, when they're practicing in the spring semester, it's usually spring football.
So it's not OTAs, obviously. They might as well do that now. They might as well do that now.
No OTAs.
They might as well just keep pushing it back and say, okay, we got OTAs and we got mandatory rookie mini camp, and
do we know for sure that LSU is going to keep the spring game?
I think they're trying to move away from it also.
They're trying to move away. I think they're trying to.
Yeah.
He said something about trying to make it
much more like the NFL,
like entertaining, not a game. Basically, what everyone else.
I mean, the last couple of years we've seen it, and it hasn't looked like much of a game, if you will.
No,
you know what I mean? Like
it's for like all the other guys. For like the older players, the former players to come back, be around the program, talk to Brian Kelly, let him do his thing. You're not going to see much in the spring game.
God, I mean, imagine if that's something that you were relying on. Like your program's got to be in a tough spot. If you're like, better see something good in the spring.
Yeah. That wouldn't be good.
But it's crazy to me that they are.
Those might actually still be playing the games.
Yeah. Well, that's what's crazy to me is like there are programs around the country that, like Nebraska, I think had the second highest attendance in a spring game last year because of Dylan Raiola. And like they played like a full-on football game. And this year he's like, we're not playing a spring game anymore because
it didn't work out for him.
Well, he yelled at him on the field and like told him like, you better have your energy up. Like this is like a football game. Like you're showing these people what our program's about. Bat rule, big time. Like first-year coach stuff. But now second year, like they're worried about the portal. And it's like, I just don't understand what that means. Like you think that people are watching your spring game like, got to get this fourth-string wide receiver. Like they're not already in touch with him. Like he's going to, like who was it, Victor Cruz at the NFL preseason? Like who's this guy?
Yeah.
Like
I honestly think a lot more of them are worried about health, man. Like I feel like they think they do. Just like baseball, like baseball players today swing and take batting practice much more than baseball players 15 years ago. Football players today run routes, catch balls, do a lot of this stuff so much more that I think that they don't feel the need or as much need to have that game time stuff right now with the cost of it possibly being an injury or something. So I think they just see it as like we don't need this right now because of what we could possibly lose going into next year. So how about we just do away with it? You guys keep doing your thing. We'll get to fall camp and be ready to go. I think that that's more of what they think of as opposed to we need to see this guy in this situation. I think they feel like that's not what they need.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be fun. Listen, football season is a long ways away, but not as far as we think. Baseball season hasn't even started yet.
No.
And we're still – I mean, football is a year-round deal now, year-round storyline because you have obviously college spring games, but then you also have free agency season. You have the draft coming up, and then Saints are an absolute dumpster fire right now, and everybody's trying to figure out what they're going to do. Derek Carr seems like he's going to be the new quarterback. Restructured his deal. Didn't really help him out that much.
He's such a prick.
Took his money, got his money, got paid. Good for you. Helped a little bit as far as this year goes and salary cap wise, so I think they go out and sign some other guys. But it's not. He didn't do the team a ton of favors as far as taking a discount to try and.
No, you can see
other guys.
Like the whole thing about being a Saint or playing for the Saints is very much akin to playing for LSU. Like it feels like you were talking about it this morning on the morning show, where you're like. There's something different to guys like Cade Anderson or Will Schmidt that like want to be there, and it just feels a little bit different. Now with Carr, it feels like he's absolutely not that person. Like he's a mercenary that's not any good at his job.
And you got the other flip side. You got Tyron and you got Cam Jordan, who are probably willing to give money back so that they can sign other guys.
That was
right?
that was
the Tom Brady deal, right? Tom got paid, but like he took probably way less than he could have taken, right? So they could sign other free agents.
Yeah.
And
you want Randy Moss or not?
Would you rather have guys around you to make you look better so that, if it ends up not working out and they want to move on, that you would be able to get? But look, what do I know? I'm not an NFL quarterback. I don't know.
That's just if I'm Derek Carr, I would do the same thing that he's doing and just blame everybody else. Nobody here is any good around me. And it's like, well, you didn't really work to get. Well, look, I think, but it doesn't matter to him because he's not any good.
Here's the deal: I think the Saints are willing to say, okay, we're going to give you the money because we're going to have to eat the money one way or the other, right? So we're going to restructure, give you the money, and if we decide that we don't want you to play, then you're going to go sit down and make your money.
Same thing that happened to him at Oakland? That's crazy.
And get the hell out of here, right? The smoke is they like Rattler a lot, That is the smoke, right? We've heard that for a year and a half. You've heard that from, Kellen Moore hasn't come out publicly and said, "Oh, I love Rattler." He's come out and said, "Derek Carr's a good quarterback. I believe that we can win with him." All the things he needs to say. But it feels like behind the scenes that they really do like Rattler, and Rattler's been around. He's been around the team. He's been around New Orleans. And Derek Carr has not. So,
I mean, you know how hard it is to miss Mardi Gras in New Orleans if you're
bring
there.
back Jameis. He's still there.
He's still there.
He's still there. He's still there.
He's gonna go somewhere.
Yeah. Do y'all like Devontae going?
He's definitely going somewhere.
Yeah,
definitely not going jobless.
Do y'all like Devontae in L.A.?
I do.
I love it.
Hey,
they're releasing Cup if they don't trade him.
Bone there, and obviously you got Stafford. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and they got Cup and Puka. What if the Rams draft?
Go
ahead.
They're saying they're trying to get rid of Cup, so I don't know. I don't know if there's room for all three of them there.
Well, no,
they've like moved on. Mentally.
That's what I said. They've said that they're either going to trade him or release him. And you got Puka Nakua on the other side. What if they draft? Because it feels like it's right up their alley, and it feels like it's their mold. What if they go draft Jack Besh? Put him in that Puka. They're comparing him to Puka Nakua the way he plays the receiver position. I don't know. You got Devontae. Have him as a 3. Maybe fits the mold. It feels like
It's possible.
That'd be good for him.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mason Taylor
is flying up draft boards.
Yeah, Baldy did a breakdown.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that.
You get the Baldy bump.
Baldy compared him to Zach Ertz. Said he could be like the replacement for Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz in Washington. That'd be go back with Jaden. That'd be great.
I'd imagine he's pushing a little bit in that direction.
Yeah.
Imagine he has say now.
Hey, Commanders are going to get it, Coach. Commanders are going.
Who did they sign today?
Laramie Tunsil. They traded for him. So you got your left tackle.
Oh, gas mask.
Yeah, you got your left tackle. They traded for him. They signed. Didn't they sign Debo?
Mm-hmm.
They signed Debo early on.
They traded for Debo too.
They traded for Debo early.
About a week ago.
They signed somebody else, I thought.
I think they signed a deep tackle or something.
I think so too. Or they maybe re-signed somebody.
They're obviously hoping that Marshawn Lattimore get back on track as well too. That was that trade wasn't just for the stretch run last year.
No doubt.
Kinlaw,
that's right. They re-signed him, right? Or they signed? No, they brought him in. That's right.
Hey, I did see the Bears are building a team literally just like they built a team in Detroit. So that'll be an interesting one to watch next year.
For sure.
They've signed already, I think, 3 or 4 offensive linemen. So who knows what they'll do in the draft?
Yeah, it's gonna be look, the Saints are gonna have to go and hit in the draft. I mean, there's no way around it, and that's hard to say. You need to do that's hard to do every year.
Great.
Now, hey,
it's in great hands.
Here's the deal. They just Hendrickson just got granted the ability to ask for a trade. Do the Saints go and get him?
That would be an all-time Saints.
Wouldn't that be an all-time Saints? Get him on the back end. Let's not get him before he's the league leader in sacks for 3 years. Let's get him on the other side of that. Now, look, he still probably has a couple good years, but you could have had him for 5. Now you get him for 2, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who was the defensive lineman?
You don't think Aaron Rodgers takes his talents to Pittsburgh?
Go get Junior
You think that's
Galette.
really a thing?
I don't know, dude.
I think that's really going to happen.
Bring back Junior Galette.
Yeah. For some reason, I think he goes to the Giants, but because I think he likes the New York,
Hubbub.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh would be crazy. I can't
but then
see him in the
again,
uniform.
But then again, he goes to Pittsburgh and he's got DK and he's got George Pickens to throw to and he's got Najee and
Mik'd.
They got some guys back there.
They do. The only thing that keeps throwing me off with the Aaron to Pittsburgh thought is, man, I look at Aaron, I just think about the best of his career, and you got guys like Greg Jennings and Jordy Nelson and obviously Devontae Adams. It seems like the best of his career was played with dudes that played the game, like the game of football, like heady, like he kind of looks at life, where he kind of, he wants the smart side of it and he wants to kind of be a cut above the rest. And I'm not saying anything about how smart they are or are not. I just don't see DK and George Pickens playing the game the way that Aaron has played the game in his past. So it's like the only thing, but at the end of the day, too, like that may be his best and or only option. So maybe he does go there. So like when I think of it, I'm looking at what they have there and I look at what he's been good at and what he's done in his career. And I'm like, that really doesn't match, but that may be the best fit for him.
Yeah. True. Do y'all think Justin Fields does anything in New York with the Jets? I still have
him and Garrett will play together.
Yeah, and I still like. I still think they did, and I still think I like Justin Fields. I just don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I know he's super talented, and I think he could be good, but like, I don't know. It's a legitimate.
I think he got a chance to be good. I still don't know. I mean, we'll see, man. I think that's a tough situation. That it's kind of been a black hole organization for a while. So we'll see if they're kind of able to change it around with Aaron Glenn. If they handed over the keys to Aaron and said, "Hey, you run this thing the way you want to and you need to," there's a chance. If not, it might be tough.
Yeah.
What a terrible career for him. Like somebody uber talented and just keeps going to shitty situations.
I know.
Like
Well,
he's never really been given a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. True. I'm reading ESPN's grades for these trades and these signings.
Oh yeah.
Saints trade for Gotchow. Saints grade D+. Patriots grade B.
How does that work?
Patriots get a 7th rounder. That's B. It's better than just not having Gotchow on the team.
Yeah, I was reading what like Nick Underhill wrote about the addition, and it's like there's a perfect kind of marriage for the defense that Staley wants to run. It's like, okay, that seems like a win to me. I don't know what he does.
Well, look, people talked about. I mean, they do all these grading stuff all the time, and like.
I mean, I could shit out a grading article too if you wanted me to.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, it's not that hard.
No doubt.
D-.
Miles Garrett's rich.
Yeah, A+ signing.
They called that a C signing.
Oh.
They called that a C.
Ow.
Him 40.
Too much money for a bad team.
$40 million a year. Yeah,
what do you want to do?
$123.5 guaranteed.
Yeah, like, I don't know how they turned that signing into wins, but I feel like they felt like, hey, we can't how are we gonna say we trying to win if we let him go?
Yeah.
Maybe they just didn't get what they were trying to get on the trade market in terms of that conversation. I don't really know.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think he said he wanted to leave for a contender, and like, well, contenders ain't going to pay you $140 million guaranteed, so I think I'll stay.
Yeah. Oh, maybe a contender would be, but they're not gonna trade him.
They got to figure out the Deshaun Watson situation. That's where they really bungled it.
Didn't he restructure it? Didn't he restructure his deal?
I think so. I don't know the details too, but I do think so.
I mean, all that money's guaranteed. It doesn't matter.
I mean, he restructured it, so I don't know what that
means. But if you push it, you can kind of do some salary cap gymnastics, even though it's still going to hit you in the ass a little bit at some point. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the Browns. I'm more worried about the Saints. I might be out on the NFL.
You've been out. You've been no, because you got to get. Hey, listen, SEC weekend gambling.
We actually got Lloyd to say he's worried about the NFL though. That's wild.
No doubt. SEC gambling, SEC baseball.
Oh, what do you think the line is going to be? -2.5.
Man, I texted you last weekend. What a way to get back into it. The upset pick that I had in my parlay. You missed it on Friday, so I put a 5-team money line parlay in college baseball. Now LSU wasn't in it. There wasn't a lot of teams in it, but I picked ECU over Coastal. ECU was an underdog, and their guys struck out like 20 guys. Their starter struck out 20 guys, and they ended up winning, I think, 6-0. And so I was like rolling. They were doing it. And then all of a sudden, I was looking at it. I went to look for Duke. I couldn't find them, and I searched Duke.
It's such a gambling.
They got
Duke baseball.
Well, they were playing Cal at Duke, and I was like, long cross. Cal 10-run ruled them 14-1.
Oh, just see,
Duke was favored. Like it was like -300. I was like, oh, let me try it.
Did you see where the?
Yeah.
Do y'all remember
10-run ruled them.
when Cal almost lost their baseball team?
Yep.
And they came out with that music video and saved the team.
I don't remember the music video. I remember they were about
it
to
was
lose the team.
That party last
No.
year. Sang
I never remember.
I don't know.
No.
Drink my beer and smoke my weed. You don't remember that song?
I mean, I do. Maybe if you get the tune right.
That party last night was awfully crazy. You don't remember that?
Keep going.
Something about college.
Oh yeah.
I love college.
Sing the song.
That's it.
Yeah, I love. Is it Mik'd?
Probably. It was some white guy. That's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
they did a remix to that in the Cal locker room. Like 3 baseball players did, and they saved
And
it.
that saved
they got
it,
so
huh?
much run on old Facebook that it saved the program, and now they're Like I think they went to the Super Regionals that year, and now they're.
They
10
did.
running Duke.
They did go to the Super Regionals that year. That they saved the program. They were supposed to. Yep. Good for Cal. Now they're in the ACC.
Now they're 10 running Duke and busted your parlay
in conference.
Yeah, they're in the ACC.
And then Stanford ended up coming back and busting it too, so it didn't matter. But, now we got the SEC, and we're gonna go for it.
Hey, apparently the Japanese kid at Stanford is doing it. Remember the kid we saw in high school a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
I don't know his numbers right now, so I'd be lying. Maybe he's cooled off, but apparently he started off smoking.
Yeah, I don't know his numbers either, but
I don't know his name. But I know you're talking about.
I've seen videos of him hitting homers. I can find it.
Rentaro Sasaki.
That's him.
Japanese high school
That's
record
the
with
one?
140 home runs.
That's the one.
Are you looking up his numbers?
I am.
Who's gonna get there first? Are you there?
Yeah, probably me.
Yeah, you're there.
He has 60 at bats, 19 hits, no homers.
You sure?
Yeah,
I thought I've seen him hit homers this year.
I think that was in their scrimmage. 3 hits.
No.
He's hitting 317. Yep, no homers. No homers.
Fielding at a 980 clip. Watch out now.
It's not great.
At first.
Yeah, it's not great. Well.
So you're trying to tell me I was wrong? Okay.
Well,
no, I think what is he hitting?
317 as a freshman.
Take it.
He's hitting 317 as a freshman.
Just no bombs yet.
Yeah, he just he
doubles.
hadn't developed the power yet. He'll get
14
there.
ribbies. He'll be fine.
Okay.
He'll get there.
1 hit by
He'll be
pitch.
fine.
Yeah.
9 walks. 13
Now,
strikeouts.
you want to go look at some outrageous numbers? Go look at
Trevor Bowers.
no, the guys in Tennessee.
Yeah.
That kid, that lefty Liam Doyle, he transferred from Coastal to Ole Miss, and then transferred from Ole Miss to Tennessee, and he threw like 50 innings at Ole Miss last year. I think he had a 5.2 ERA, but he had 88 strikeouts, but he had like 40 walks. So he couldn't. He was walking a bunch of guys, but he had electric stuff. This year, not walking anybody, and absolutely, I think people are hitting 0.95 against him, and absolutely shoving lefty, and just dealing, and they're hitting a bunch of homers.
You mean Randy?
No, isn't it the guy from the Florida that has like the big lefty that looks like Randy Johnson? Or was it
Yeah, I'm
Tennessee?
thinking. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That Georgia pitcher, too, that closer's getting more run on the internet.
What do you do now?
He's acting like a goofball.
What's his numbers?
They must be good.
Are they good? Let's see.
If you don't think that everybody in the SEC has got him pinned on the wall and can't wait to face.
That was like I mean, Josh Fields didn't do all the crazy antics, but that was like Josh Fields for Georgia, like the pitcher that threw 100. You said, but he didn't have the antics this guy had.
Yeah, the antics is what everybody wants, and they don't even care about what's actually coming behind it.
Let's see. What's his name?
I don't know.
You don't know?
He's a righty.
I don't know.
But it is crazy to see as well as LSU's been playing, because you don't want to say like they've peaked right now, but they are playing the best baseball that they played this year so far. And it feels like if this isn't peaking, I don't know what is. But this feels like it could consistently be done. But then you look around the SEC and everybody has either 0 losses or 1. It's gonna be such a tough stretch to get into SEC play and actually be as good as you are, and it might not matter.
Yeah.
One of these teams gonna get.
Yeah.
They feel like they have a great baseball team this year. It's nope, got shoved.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually what happens. You have teams
do you
that.
think the SEC?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say.
I was going to ask
I'll jump in here now.
No, you always see that every year. Teams come in that are super hot with all these records, and obviously it levels out a little bit in the SEC, and you're playing top competition, and then the cream always rises to the top. So
Asher
that's all I
Roth.
was gonna say. Huh?
Asher Roth.
That's his name? Thank you.
No, the singer.
Okay.
Oh.
I was wondering, do you think the SEC went to the everybody makes the tournament idea just so you couldn't, because of the strength of the league right now, just so you couldn't basically say, oh, well, you didn't make the tournament, you're out. Because the way we're seeing this thing, like you said, everybody's pretty much going in with 0 to 1 to 2 losses, and let's say they continue to dominate their midweek schedules, and then obviously the SEC eats itself the way it does. But if you're at the end of the year and a lot of these teams have still really good resumes, but they're not in the SEC tournament, that's an easy way for the committee to look at it and be like, well, you're out. You're good.
Yeah.
We can't have you in here too.
Yeah, no, I think having everybody make the conference tournament definitely helps the SEC get more bids in for sure. Guys, the pitcher's Brian Curley. That's his name. He was at VCU for 2 years and then transferred to Georgia for this year. Got better every year at VCU. Had a 2.87 ERA last year. That psycho pitcher for Georgia. And now he's got 10 innings pitched, 17 strikeouts, 6 walks, 1 run given up. So, yes, he's had a good start to the year. But he's a psychopath.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, one more from the chat. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Obviously, Randy, what's up? But it was Dylan Vergets. Shout out Mikey for getting my name right. Remember we had the Varigats conversation.
Yeah.
Like it's probably Vergets.
I didn't even see the name. I was just going based off the way you were trying to pronounce it.
Yeah, it's just Louisiana. You get a couple shots in the dark.
I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. That was just shout out.
Yeah, that was it.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right.
We try our best.
We do. Wednesday, no game, no LSU game on Wednesday, which means maybe some swing breakdowns. Hopefully from our guy.
Yeah.
On Twitter, we also are going to promote this. Put your swing in the chat or on Twitter, and we don't have a hashtag for it, but
swing your swing.
Hashtag swing your swing. I like that.
There you go.
Hashtag swing your swing. We're going to promote it. Hashtag swing your swing. Put your swing in the chat, whether it's your swing or somebody that you want us to break down, and we'll try to break it down. We'll call it like we see it. Hopefully our guy who is coming at us on Twitter will put his swing in there. Maybe he did already.
I think he's got some more politicking to do.
Well, you say he's going to see a bunch of people right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good. You're going to ruin some kids' lives.
I can. On my way to show him. Anyhow it's done is how he said what he said, actually.
Jack did text us during that interview. He's like, Jay handled that like he took it so seriously. Obviously not on that part.
But he laughed.
I think he got it at some point, but he's obviously not on that part of Twitter. I'm on the deep underbelly of Twitter.
Yeah, I don't think
which was down all day today.
Part of Twitter when he's on there.
I wish I would have said this. I said, hey,
can.
I wish I'd asked Jay this. Hey, Tommy's hitting 224 in half of a short season. And he's on track this year, apparently, to do the same, which I don't know how he would know that. And he said, this guy says, let me ask your opinion, if he releases the barrel and hits with his wrist, would he be a 320 hitter? Because this guy apparently thinks so. And I think his mind would be in a pretzel with that comment. Because I still haven't figured out what that means. I still haven't figured out what that means.
Well, sure.
Let me ask you, how can you be on track to do what you did last year when you haven't had a single real at bat this year?
I'm confused about that as well. He gave him a compliment, though. He said he has great hand-eye coordination.
Riddle me that.
I just don't know how to release the barrel and hit with the wrist. Like,
flip it.
I mean,
throw your hands at the ball.
Like you're casting a fishing rod?
Yeah, if you stay, he says the worst thing that could happen in baseball, or the worst thing you're taught, is to stay inside the ball. You're going to hit a lot of foul balls to right and fillets, which I've never heard as a term.
Yeah, so when kids are taught that, they go to him.
I just think he was going for some
teaches them to get around the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He threw in some baseball nomenclature, so you know it's real.
He said when you don't hit the ball or you hit the barrel in front of your hands, is that what he said? Then you get some of the flares and the weak fly balls to right, which makes zero sense when you have a guy that's averaging basically 100 miles an hour exit velo.
But imagine he's got more in the tank.
Yeah. All right.
I'd love to see what happens if he does.
Me too. It'd be amazing. All right, let's get to the seggies.
This is so funny.
What?
I'm just going through this.
And I didn't even I'm glad Jared had time today, and Jared went at him with pictures. I was not able to do that, and then I get back to my phone and look at it. I'm like, oh my god, this is great. And then I just added a couple comments, but Jared did most of the
I didn't have to go too far to find a little bit of video of him doing that, and I guess the guy completely forgot what argument that he was trying to make, which was that Jared Jones does not release the barrel, but apparently he does, because by what he was saying that he does not do, there is video proof of him doing it already this year. And I would imagine, like you already mentioned, that for someone who can routinely hit the ball 105 to 110 miles an hour, that must be really hard to do if you never release the barrel. You got to be an absolute giant of a man.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So here's the Discord on Twitter account. How did every MLB team let Jared Jones get back to LSU? 387 likes, pretty good.
20-some thousand views.
This guy,
yeah,
23,000 views, 9 retweets, 8 comments. This is where it gets to the nitty-gritty by our guy, Brett. How did every MLB team let Jared Jones get back to LSU? His remark, because he doesn't release the barrel well at all. Same reason Tommy is having trouble now. Mikie, false. Jared Mitchell, oh brother. Look at the film. Look at any great hitter's film. They consistently hit the ball in front of their hands close to the plate. It's what made Dylan Cruz so special. I'm right. False. No, it isn't. When you hit the ball behind your hands, you will constantly flare the ball out foul. It's what made Dylan Cruz so special. He constantly hits the outside pitch in front of his hands. I already won money saying Tommy will never make it in pro ball. Oh, God, this gets longer. I already won money saying Tommy will never make it in pro ball.
This one
I don't know how he won money.
Yeah, well, that's why I did comment on that too.
He throws the bat at the ball, making the barrel inaccurate.
The bat must have been in his first 20 games or something.
Yeah.
You hit the ball with your wrist from your elbows down to your fingertips. I'm not wrong, and I have thousands of hours of video to prove it. Releasing the barrel is vital and probably for barrel accuracy. I'm sure you could find 100 dumbasses to regurgitate old hitting philosophy wrong. You hit the ball opposite field in front of your hands, period. Now, doesn't that mean you can get lucky like Bear did the other day at the right field line? No. But you can't consistently do that in pro ball. That's why he struggled with off speed last year. And then Jared, break this one down for me, coach. Middle away, righty. Down on the count, 0-1 changeup that he hit off his grill of the scoreboard. Where's the contact? Where's the barrel released? Asking for a friend. Picture says it all, yes, and count doesn't matter. But does that say he's maturing as a hitter? The barrel's in front of his hands at that moment in time. I'd rather see it at contact, though, to be sure. There's no doubt that they're strong enough to hit the ball at the yard. Just for your information, this is before contact. I don't need to game you from Jared. Oh, even better then. Proves the point his barrel is in front of his hands. Your point is that he doesn't do it. That's really what you made your stance on. Yeah. And then he went silent.
And then he said something.
He ran away.
Yeah.
He went to go film thousands of more swings.
Yeah, and I said, buddy, he played half a season. It takes some time. I said, you don't have to explain to me how hitting and navigating pro ball works.
Damn, Tommy retired already? Didn't they pay out?
I tell you what, the only thing you can do is hit the ball. The only way to be a good baseball hitter, if the only way to be good as a baseball hitter is to hit the ball in front of your hands, boy, I don't know what would be the reason for getting the bat in the zone early for and staying through the very long would be. It just doesn't make much sense, right? You should just throw that thing out in front every time, right?
Yeah, it's a wild thing. Yeah, I thought you saw my comment. I'm glad you just saw it.
I'm getting to the rest of it now.
I'm glad you just saw it.
Damn, Tommy retired already? Didn't know they paid out bets after half a season. He responds, hitting 224 won't get you promoted anytime soon. And that was last season. He's on track to do the same. If he released the barrel and hit with his wrist, he would be a 320 hitter. He has great hand-eye coordination. Mikie, can you demonstrate to me what it looks like to hit with the wrist? He responds, I can. On the way to show Minnie how it's done. Mikie, please video.
I mean, I like to see a video.
Oh, it too. Hit him in the DM.
Maybe he teaches me something.
Yeah, that's the best part is he's stumbling into 2 former professional baseball players. Like, shit.
I mean, he's got to know. Maybe he doesn't know. I don't know, but it was entertaining. Hopefully, it's more entertaining on Wednesday.
I just hope he's watching.
Yeah, me too. And we're gonna promote the hashtag Swing Your Swing, and we're gonna break down some swings, break down some of the LSU guys' swings on Wednesday, and go from there. Okay, let's get to the seggies. Lloyd, mistake of the day.
I just found it. Plenty to choose from this week, but this has gotten a lot of traction on the old Twitter sphere. Did you see this track and field indoor incident?
I did not.
Oh, why is it Twitter loading on? Oh, fuck.
We ran out of internet.
No, it's just Twitter's not letting me, it's saying it doesn't work on the website, whenever I try to drag it over. But this woman, this track athlete, is running on the inside lane, swings the baton.
Oh, I saw it. Yep.
Yeah, and then she got fractured her skull and gave her a concussion while she wildly swings, like hits her in the head
So,
very
Jared-
much on purpose.
Jared, girl in the inside lane of the track, running. I don't know what it was. Maybe a 400 or 200, whatever it is.
A relay for sure.
It was a relay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the girl in the lane inside, like on the outside of her, is passing her, and the girl in the lane on the inside realizes, "Damn, I'm about to get beat," and she takes the baton and smacks the other girl on the top of the head, and the other girl like falls down and
Fractures
now,
her skull and gives her a concussion.
Yeah, because the batons are like metal, right? Like they're not like soft. And then so they both get out the thing, and now there's an interview with the girl that hit the girl saying that she didn't do it on purpose, and it was in the
crying.
middle. She's crying, and it was in the middle of her thing. I was like, no, you're running this way. You are on it. You're a track team, so you have right form. Not randomly do you just go, and then you get
Especially
back
when
into
she passes you.
Yeah.
That I wish I had the video because it does
Like
hurt.
full swing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, she was running, and she goes out here,
Abandoned form.
like she's doing it, and then the arm goes outside, and whop, smack right on top of the head.
What?
Yeah, you gotta look it up.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Big mistake.
Huge.
Big mistake.
That's what I'm trying to find right now.
I had a guy at a high school.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I had a high school relay. Well, I was on the high school relay team, and we ran the relay. And we had one of our legs was hurt, and so we had to have an alternate. And he was giving it to our anchor, and he stepped on our anchor's the heel of his cleat.
Flat tired him.
And he flat tired him. We're winning, and we're about to break the school record. And he does it, and so he couldn't go. And the anchor took the baton and threw it at him in the middle of the thing because he was DQ'd.
Oh.
He was DQ'd. He was already out because he couldn't run because he left the lane because he just threw the baton at him. It was so funny.
Good, pack it up.
Yeah, it was so funny. All right, so that was a great mistake of the day. Curtain call brought to you by our friends at Perkins McKenzie.
Hey, speaking of gambling,
Gambling.
all-time streak for Big Cat right now, 16-0.
Is he? Did he win it?
Yeah.
He won the what was the
he keeps betting overs.
16-0 in March.
And these are not small wagers he's making.
He's having a good month.
I mean, this is his favorite thing in the world as much as he probably loves like the content game. The man's a degenerate gambler.
Yeah.
And so for him to go and
Is he showing his slips?
No, I don't.
Okay, so he's not showing what he's betting.
No, but he is posting. He's getting graphics made by Barstool, and now he has Scott Van Pelton on it, who is like commenting on the games whenever they're on SportsCenter.
He's talking about it.
Yeah, like we're all riding with Big Cat, and I have not hopped on, even though this started at, like for me at like 11-0, and I've been watching it.
You haven't dumped on it.
But
yet.
I don't want to be the reason.
can't do it.
Yeah, I can't do it to him.
Yeah, can't
and
do it.
so curtain call to Big Cat for somebody that loves to gamble and going on an all-time run at the moment.
That's a gambler's dream.
He's like, what if I just never lose again? And that's
You'd be Buff. You'd be. Is it Buff from Back to the Future?
Biff.
Biff from
Biff
Back to
Cat.
the Future. Biff Cat. That's what he should change his name to. Biff Cat, because he just predicts the future. If he goes 20-0, that'd be outrageous.
That'd be wild.
Portnoy bet on it. He did post his slip. 110,000 to win 211.
No, Portnoy bet that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, but he always posts his slips.
Yeah,
because he
I'm
bets
saying
outrageous
the units are probably
amounts.
not that different.
I would imagine he's not betting 110K, maybe 10K.
That's probably fair.
Yeah, I mean,
Big Cat got equity.
No doubt, but Dave owns it again for $1.
I got it for $1.
Yep. All right, Jay, you got a curtain call?
Yeah, I mean, I got one. I just kind of want to highlight it a little bit because I saw this earlier today, and I think it's actually pretty impressive. I have zero clue where they are in terms of the steam of it being picked up, if he's possibly going to make this team out of camp. But don't look right now, but Jack Caglianone's hitting 545 at camp right now. He's got an OPS of over 2.
Yeah.
It's only 11 or 12 bats. I get it. It's early. I understand that. But what you saw in the SEC for the last 3 years is real, and the kid is translating and doing this also at the, well, I won't say major league level, let's say professional level right now. See where it goes.
Yeah, and he's got, 2 or 3 homers, I think.
Yeah, I think it's 3 homers. Yeah, he's got 3 homers.
Yeah, he's swinging the shit out of it. And he looks like a big leaguer. I mean, he looks like the next. I mean, he's an enormous human being.
Huge.
So shout out to him. All right, my curtain call, staying on the professional baseball train, is our one and only Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman obviously makes the move to Boston, He gets traded to, or he signs a free agent deal with Boston, makes a bunch of money. He's already made a bunch of money, and he kind of was bringing in. You could tell that he played with when he was coming up. You could tell he played with a lot of old school guys who understand the game, guys who understands the rite of passage, if you will. And as you come up, it is known that a veteran would usually take you under his wing and buy you a suit. Because back in the day, every time you would fly, you had to wear a suit. Now, there were some teams that didn't do it over time. There's a lot more teams now that don't do it, but some teams still do it. And you have to buy a suit when you travel. And a lot of these young guys have never really owned a nice custom suit. And so some of these veteran guys would take them under the wing, buy a suit, go to dinner, all these types of things. It's kind of been lost. I did not experience that in Tampa. We didn't have a team full of veterans. But Alex Bregman, he buys all of the top prospects, or a few of the top prospects for the Boston Red Sox, brand new suits. Custom suits, had a guy come in, get them fitted. And one of the kids says the sickest thing ever. It's my first suit. It was truly incredible, something I'll never forget. And we forget how long of a way that goes and how special it is for these kids. They're in big league camp. They're supposed to be they're big prospects, supposed to be in the big leagues. They may not make it, or they may make it, and they may eventually be that guy like Bregman is. But you don't become that guy unless someone does it for you. And you play with Carlos Beltran, Brian McCann, Josh Reddick, all did that for him. So curtain call to Alex Bregman because that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I like it. There's a lot of feel right there, and that stuff kind of gets paid back to you. And I think when you do that, I won't even say set because I have no clue what that clubhouse is like right now, but there's another level of, hey, there's the right culture in this clubhouse, and it makes guys get there and feel much more comfortable about the situation that they're in, which is really still playing the same game. It's just at a larger scale.
Yeah. Saints signed, I didn't mention this earlier, Saints signed offensive lineman Mik'd Becton to a 2-year, $25 million deal.
Hell yeah, Super Bowl.
$10 million guaranteed. So, you can imagine that's decent.
Winning free agency.
Bargain shopping. $10 million guaranteed right there.
Lloyd's on board.
That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so shout out to Bregman. That's pretty awesome. And best luck to those prospects. All right, that's all we got for you on this beautiful Monday night. Got a little chilly Sunday. Got a little chilly today. Going to warm up throughout the course of the week. Longer days. Longer days are ahead. Great time. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. We'll be back live in studio on Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. We will have some swing breakdowns. We'll have hopefully some guests in here and a lot of fun, a lot of conversation leading up into the SEC weekend. We're gonna kind of go around the SEC and talk about matchups and that type of stuff. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you can't watch us, but you like listening to us, we're anywhere you get your pods. Again, we appreciate the support. We appreciate the love. See you on Wednesday.
Oh,
peace. Yes.
On the way out.
Yep.
Tell me how much this inspires you.
Walk me off.
We've been consistent through this whole process. We feel really good about Derek. Really excited to team up with him. We want him here, and it'll be a good situation. Kellen Moore.
Yeah, that sounds like someone who doesn't really want him there.
It'll be a good situation.
What are you going to do, Coach? Strapped.
Always strapped.
When I'm in the club?
Yeah.
When you hit free agency.
No doubt. All right, boys.
Let's go Bears.
Have a great night. Enjoy your night. Wife's making chicken noodle soup.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Probably the last little time it's going to be chilly enough to where you feel like you want a soup. But
hot soup coming through.
Hot soup. Hot soup.
Hot soup.
What's the soup of the day? What's the soup du jour?
Soup du jour.
What's the soup du jour or what's the soup of the day? That sounds nice. I'll have that.
That movie is so underrated in terms of humor.
They messed it up with Dumb and Dumber.
What? Nah. He gave it.
Hey.
Try to run it back. I'll
Happy
see.
Gilmore too.
I feel like it's gonna be good.
I think it's gonna be great. I think they did. I think they understand they had to do it. Like, I don't know what
Shooter's still alive.
It's great.
Sandman's still in shape enough to be able to swing it.
And it feels like it's going to be great because Shooter, like the Shooter McGavin on Twitter, and like
that might be the reason.
Like they all are still very much
prevalent.
Every generation knows that movie. right? The youngest generation knows it because they're golfers, and yeah, it's gonna be good. Can't wait.
Fuzzy, no, who is it?
He's gay. He's not. He passed away in the show, a movie, and in real life. Is that what you're talking about? The
Grizzly
pro?
Adams? No, he's not dead.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about
Tan
the. I thought you were talking about his pro with the wooden hand.
Oh, Chubbs is dead.
Yeah, Chubbs. That's what I mean. I thought you were talking about Chubbs.
No, winning one for Chubbs for real this time.
Yeah.
Oh, to hell with that! I'm winning it for Chubbs.
All right. Have a good night. We love y'all. Peace.